Burnaby North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you to the member opposite for his very thoughtful and inspiring and motivational words about this topic. Mr. Speaker, I stated earlier that I thought politicians can and should develop, should hone our capacity to be creative. But how? Many of us who have chosen the rational, practical path in life are pretty self-conscious about being creative. We say things like, "Oh, I don't have an artistic bone in my body," or "I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket." But let me ask you this. When you were 2 years old, were you told to give up trying to walk because you just weren't very good at it? Or to forget eating because you had so much trouble finding your mouth with your spoon? Or to stop trying to have a conversation because no one could understand what you were saying? Of course not. Because doing those things were considered essential life skills. But somewhere along the line, many of us got the idea that we couldn't sing, or couldn't draw, or couldn't dance, or couldn't tell a story, and we gave up trying, because none of those things were considered essential. Mr. Speaker, a few years ago, I started painting. I guess it was a hobby, a pastime, and I wasn't really very good at it. But, Mr. Speaker, the process of trying to capture an image, the process of trying to communicate a moment that had meaning to me, and to do it in such a way that someone looking at my painting could see that meaning, well, it changed my relationship with the world around me. I started seeing details and connections I hadn't seen before. Mr. Speaker, I suspect everyone in this chamber has a hobby, a pastime, a way they express their creativity. We call it recreation because it creates us again and again. Mr. Speaker, almost 200 years ago, the poet Shelley declared that poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. 200 years later, we can put a rocket into space or blow up this planet, but we still haven't figured out how to end world poverty. Perhaps it's time to reunite art and science before it's too late. Thank you.